What's going on, everyone? Mr. Octagonal here from Octagonal Gaming. Now, I made a video earlier today saying that Kyrie Irving has demanded a trade from the Cleveland Cavaliers, but I didn't go too much in depth on what teams he could go to. Well, I did. I said like the Bucks or the Jazz, but this is a perfect trade, a three-team trade involving the Phoenix Suns and the New York Knicks, which neither team. I did actually mention the Knicks because I talked about Carmelo Anthony, but I did not talk about these two teams. So Kyrie Irving, I think, will be traded to the Knicks or the Suns. And you want to know clues on which team it'll be? The Knicks have no clue what they're doing, and the Suns are in a similar position than the Timberwolves. They're a very young team, and they need some veteran who can get them over the top. Hopefully you guessed the Phoenix Suns. If not, then that's fine. If you did, then good for you. The Suns have a very talented team. Devin Booker, Josh Jackson, Eric Bledsoe, Marquise Chris, Dragan Bender, T.J. Warren, Allen Williams. The list goes on and on and on. But the Phoenix Suns, they've been in rumors to get Kyrie Irving. The Suns, as I said, they're like the Timberwolves. I actually have the Suns making the 8th seed last year, and clearly I'm a fool. But the Suns, they're this close to making the playoffs. It may not seem like it, but they're this close. Eric Bledsoe is a top 10 point guard. Devin Booker is a top 10 shooting guard. They have added Josh Jackson from the draft. And they have Marquise Chris is probably going to improve. Dragan Bender is probably going to improve. T.J. Warren is probably going to improve. So the Suns now get that all-star in Kyrie Irving. But they already have Eric Bledsoe, point guard. Irving's better than Bledsoe. I think we can all agree. So what does this mean for Eric Bledsoe? Eric Bledsoe will get sent to the Knicks. The Knicks did just draft Frank Ntilikina, but they're probably going to lose Derrick Rose. And I made a My League video, like 6 teams I'm considering for My League. Like the vote, you should vote for it, link in the description. One of the 6 teams of the New York Knicks. You know who the Knicks starting point guard is? Ron Baker. So obviously they need a point guard. Ntilikina is better than Ron Baker. But yeah, don't listen to that. But anyway, they could definitely use a point guard. They're getting Eric Bledsoe, who's, I believe, 2 years older than Irving. I believe Eric Bledsoe is like 27 and Irving's like 25. Somewhere around there. Yeah, Irving's still really, really young, which I should have discussed with Suns. But the Knicks, they have Kristaps Porzingis. They have Carmelo Anthony, who we might discuss in a minute. They have Ntilikina. They have Willie Hernangomez, who showed a lot of flashes this year. The Knicks aren't awful. They're pretty awful, but they're not as bad as the Nets, but I mean, they're pretty close. They have Kristaps Porzingis, which is why they're not as bad as the Nets, and they have their picks. But, speaking of traded picks, speaking of trading their picks, Frank Ntilikina, as well as Carmelo Anthony, is going to be traded to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Most people are going to be a little surprised that I put Ntilikina in here. So the Cavs are basically doing Melo and Ntilikina for Irving. I know they'd be stupid to do Melo for Irving, so I figured I'd want to add someone with good value. I considered really Hernangomez. However, since they just traded Kyrie Irving, why not get a good point guard? And Frank Ntilikina is more likely someone you can build around than Willie Hernangomez. Willie Hernangomez showed flashes, but he was just a second-round pick, and he's not exactly someone you can build around. He's probably going to start at center for the Knicks this year. He's going to be a good player in this league, but he's probably not someone you can build around. Frank Ntilikina, this is a big risk for the Cavs. This is definitely, out of these 3 teams, this is by far the biggest risk for the Cleveland Cavaliers. They could be getting snubbed. Frank Ntilikina could suck. He could be as bad. He could be like a Dante Exum, which is a very good chance. Or he could be a superstar. Or I wouldn't say a superstar, but a good player. He's not going to be an average role player. He's not going to be like a J.R. Smith. No. He's either going to suck or he's going to be really good. Which I honestly high on Frank Ntilikina. I wouldn't say he's going to be really good. I think he's going to be between J.R. Smith and Eric Bledsoe. I'm not saying J.R. Smith. I know J.R. Smith isn't a point guard, but J.R. Smith's talent and Eric Bledsoe's talent. I don't think he'll be as good as Eric Bledsoe, but I do think he'll be a little better than J.R. Smith. I don't think he'll be a bust. So he'll probably not start for the Cavs this year. We'll get to who's going to start there in a minute. And Carmelo Anthony will finally be traded. He'll be traded to the Cavs. So LeBron gets his buddy Melo, but he does lose Kyrie Irving in this. And what I think is, assuming LeBron leaves next offseason, I do think Melo's contract will be bought out. So if LeBron leaves, which he probably will after they trading Irving, I don't think Melo will be on the roster for more than 1 season. So let's go through each team's starting lineup. Let's go with the Phoenix Suns. So I may not be exact with the big men, but Kyrie Irving, Devin Booker, probably Josh Jackson over TJ Warren, probably Marquise Chris, and maybe Dragan Bender. I think they have like Tyson Chandler or something. I'd start Dragan Bender to give him some minutes, but some tech issue. Sorry about that. But anyway, I think that's a good lineup for the Suns. That team can very well make the playoffs. They are in a stacked West, and the West is getting better. The only player the West are losing is Eric Bledsoe, and they're getting Kyrie Irving. Because Carmelo Anthony and Frank Ntilikina are both already in the Eastern Conference. But anyway, so the Suns, they're definitely going to be getting better with the addition of Kyrie Irving replacing Eric Bledsoe. That team can make the playoffs. Now let's look at the Knicks. I don't think I discussed the draft pick they're getting. They're getting a 2018, I believe it's lottery protected Miami Heat first round pick. I think the Heat will be a playoff team, so I believe the Knicks will get that pick. It's probably going to be around like the 18, 19, 20 range, because Goran Dragic is arguably a top 10 point guard, and Hassan Whiteside's arguably a top 5 center. And they have the GOAT Josh Richardson, so that team's definitely going to be like a 5 or 6 seed this year. So the Knicks are getting an epic. It's not like obviously awful, but it's a first round pick. It's pretty good. And they're getting Eric Bledsoe. They're improving their point guard situation. They're not going to have to start Ron Baker, so their starting lineup is probably going to look like Eric Bledsoe, Tim Hardaway, Lance Thomas. I don't know who they'd start. I have no clue who they'd start at small forward. Kristaps Porzingis and Willie Hernan-Gomez. I don't know if that team could make the playoffs, but that's definitely not a pitiful team. That's a team that might get like the 11th, 12th pick, because I don't think that team's going to suck. And last but not least, the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are getting Carmelo Anthony and Frank Ntilikina. Now, in 5 years from now, this could be a really good trade for the Cavs and an awful trade for the Knicks, or an awful trade for the Cavs, because they're trading Kyrie Irving, who's a 25-year-old star, for a 1-year rental and Carmelo Anthony, and Frank Ntilikina, who might not be that good. So this could be really bad for the Cavs, and potentially this can affect LeBron's decision, which is even worse. But if Frank Ntilikina is good, then there you go. So their starting lineup at point guard, I think they might sign Derrick Rose. There have been rumors about Derrick Rose going to the Cavs, the Bucks, the Lakers, even back to the Chicago Bulls. But the Cavs very well could be a spot. I think the Cavs would be good for him because he gets to start, and not many places he gets to start. And his son lives in, I believe, Chicago, and it's not that far of a drive. I know he wants to live near his son, so that's good for him. For Derrick Rose, for whatever reason, I was thinking Carmelo Anthony. At the 2, J.R. Smith or Kyle Korver. I'd start J.R. Smith. At the 3, LeBron James. At the 4, Kevin Love. At the 5, Tristan Thompson. So that means Carmelo Anthony will come off the bench. He'll still get very solid minutes. He'll probably win 6 Man of the Year. Or they could always try like Melo at the 3, LeBron at the 4, or LeBron at the 3, Melo at the 4, and try Kevin Love at the 5. I don't know how that'll work. Kevin Love's a great rebounder, and he can stretch for 4, so maybe they could do a Derrick Rose, J.R. Smith, Carmelo Anthony, LeBron James, and Kevin Love. They probably want to put LeBron James at small forward and and Carmelo Anthony at power forward because LeBron's a better defender than Carmelo Anthony. So he could defend those wing players. Like power forward, there's not as many good power forwards as wing players because there's your Kevin Durant and your Kawhi Leonard and your Giannis Antetokounmpos, who might not even be a wing. Your Paul Georges, your Jimmy Butlers, etc., etc. So that's where LeBron will do. Carmelo Anthony's probably going to be a 1-year rental for the Cavs. Probably buy out his contract. And maybe he'll go to the Rockets or something because the Rockets will still be good. Well, maybe they will lose Chris Paul. Maybe the Lakers if they get LeBron. And the LeBron, like if they work together well. So that's pretty much it. I think this will be a good trade for these 3 teams. Maybe not the Cavs, but I mean, what the value of the teams got for Chris Paul, Jimmy Butler, and Paul George? Yeah, and Kyrie Irving's the youngest. He probably has the most potential, but still, Melo and Ntilikina. Hope you guys enjoyed. So the Suns would get Irving, the Knicks would get Bledsoe, and a 2018 lottery protected Miami Heat first round pick, and the Cavs are going to be getting Carmelo Anthony and Frank Ntilikina. Peace out.